Hi, folks. This is Alicia with Vendor Spotlight or Mystic Merchants for our Season of Souls Psychic Fair coming this October 31st, November 1st and 2nd out at Merle Hay Mall. Now, we're sitting down tonight with Miss Jade Moon. She is one of our psychic readers out there, and she is brand new to our fair, so give her a warm welcome. We're going to see what makes her tick, and what her story is. Here we go. Hi, Jade.
Hi.
Say hi to all the people in social media and internet land.
Hello, Internet Land.
So, kindly introduce yourself, tell them what you do, and a little bit about yourself.
I'm Jade Moon. I own Moonlit Rituals. I make self-care ritual tools. I've been doing candle making mostly for off and on for about 10 years now. So that's kind of my main passion there. And I do offer a lot of other products as well. But yeah.
Now, do you have a storefront here?
I do not. So I actually just started this particular business
Mhm.
earlier this year, like late spring. So I'm still kind of new. And I'm working on getting things up in my shop on Etsy. But I've mostly just been doing a lot of events, and that's been um, honestly amazing. And I love being able to interact with people that that are buying my products.
That's amazing. Okay. Now, I thought you were also going to be doing readings at the fair. Is that right?
I am not. No.
Okay. So you marked the reader booth, and I was like, oh, she's doing readings, making
Oh
candles.
no,
Cool.
it was just the size.
Okay.
I don't
No worries.
know.
I get it.
I
Believe me,
could
I get
maybe, throw that in there,
it. All right. Well, I love hearing about people that are just branching out into stuff. Now, what made you start your business and how long have you been doing it? I mean, yeah, you said just this year, but I feel like there's more to that story?
Yeah, there definitely is. It's kind of been in the works forever, it feels like. I I had been doing some things with self-care products off and on for a while. I actually had another business with a friend of mine. We just kind of had different visions for the business, so we, went our separate ways on that. And I've also had this idea in the back of my mind for a long time
Oh, hold on.
that,
Joshua Rowe. Hi from Kate and Josh. Well, hello guys. How are you?
hi, hey guys,
They say hi from YouTube. So,
nice, glad they made it. Where was I?
sorry, go
Oh,
ahead.
so I had this idea for a long time that I wanted to be able to kind of compile all the resources that I found throughout the years that have helped me. But I didn't really know what that looked like for a long time. Initially, I thought like, oh, maybe some kind of like self-help book sort of thing, but that never really like felt quite right for me. And so earlier this year, I went back to school in January, and I quickly realized why I had left the first time, and that my heart just wasn't in it. And so I really did some digging and thinking about like, okay, what is it that I really want to do? What am I passionate about? Like, what am I trying to put out into the world? And that has to come from a place of like my most like authentic and aligned self. Um, and so I knew that I wanted to do something creative and something to help people. So I I spent many a long night just like thinking and making notes and like just writing down all of these ideas that I had for how to like incorporate these different parts of myself and how to like get some tools out there to people. And so what I came up with is like sort of a two-part system of the physical tools like candles, oil rollers, mood mists, I call them, for like room spray or body spray kind of thing, just like get the vibe going. And bath soaks. Those are kind of like the core physical products. And then I've been working on a guided journal to go along with
Nice.
each of those collections. And they're all very intentional and very specific to different like areas of the self that one might want to like work on. And so the physical tools are to kind of like set the mood and amplify that intention of what you're, really trying to get into and, do your inner work. So
Okay.
it's kind of the idea.
I like it. You got a foot in each world. I like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, when do you feel you really started down this road? And what was the catalyst? Because there's always a catalyst. There's always
Yeah,
something that sparks, sparks the
right.
engine.
Yeah. So I think what kind of set me on this path, a couple different things. I I lost someone about a decade ago, who, I thought I was gonna spend the rest of my life with.
Oh,
And
really?
that was that just like changed my life forever. And I think I had put off my grief for a while, and just like didn't want to deal with it, didn't want to face it or any of that. And
That's really natural for grief, but it always comes back out.
yeah, it does for sure. And I had gotten into another relationship after that, which was not super healthy and very much just, kind of a desperate attempt to hold on to something that felt safe and secure at the time. And then
What
towards the end
sign
of
are
that,
you?
sorry, what was that?
What sign mix are you?
Sagittarius, Sun, Aquarius, Moon, and Pisces rising.
But what's your Eastern Chinese placement?
I don't know that deep. I know the I know the big three. That's all I got.
What year were you born?
1990.
1990. I'm wondering if that's a horse. Hold on. Go ahead.
That's a
Keep going.
horse. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yep. So you're a Sagittarian horse, yeah. And for you, relationships, they hit you so hard because for horses, love, relationships, that's their big area.
Mm.
Well, that and freedom, travel.
Yeah, yeah.
Lots of freedom, lots of travel.
It's the
But you guys,
duality there.
but you guys are really magnanimous. You give of your time very freely, and you got a big heart. Tend to be a little bit blunt, but you guys are really amazing in a lot of ways, and you have to get into a relationship with somebody that's gonna appreciate it. Otherwise, you're gonna be miserable.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
And I totally was. I was with somebody who didn't really get me, I didn't, let my freak flag fly, so to speak, really. I really toned myself down, just like really played everything so safe in that relationship. And I just felt like
really,
suffocated. And it wasn't, you know, it was my own doing. It wasn't because of
yeah,
him. I chose to be with him, and he wasn't actively saying like you can't be yourself, but that's just like that's what I chose is, I'm going to be in this relationship where I don't have to open up. And so I was
right,
very closed off for a good 2.5 years and put off my grief for a good 2.5 years. And then I decided to start going to therapy because I'm like, this is not a way to live.
no,
And I kind of have a history too of like toning myself down around certain people and, you know, um, just being like a people pleaser and, being who I think other people want me to be. And so at that point in my life, I feel like I didn't have like a deep sense of self. I've always been like pretty introspective, but I don't know. I felt like I was disconnected from like who I like really truly am, and definitely more like analyzed things intellectually than like really was in my body.
yeah,
So
no, I get that.
yeah, so I started on this path of like, okay, who even am I?
Oh my,
What am I about? Like,
that's a long
what
path.
actually, what was that?
That's a long path. That's a long, long,
Yes, for
long, long.
sure. For sure. And then then I was informed that I had like complex trauma and all this stuff too. And I'm like, cool,
You're like,
wouldn't have
oh,
even known, wouldn't have ever
God.
even addressed that. So yeah. And so I did a lot on my own, looking into, like psychology and just like personality type things, and started getting more into like meditation, and like that kind of really like opened things up for me like spiritually. And so I really got like on that journey, and just, connecting with myself and my intuition, but then also connecting to the world around me, and um, source, and just, life, and um, opening myself up more than I ever had before to like all kinds of possibilities, and, relationships and interactions and experiences. And yeah, I just started collecting all of these tools to help me do that,
Yeah.
and address these different parts of myself. And I learned about like chakras and stuff, and I was like, whoa, like, whoosh, I'm like, oh, I can actually like,
Dude, the further down this road you go with your background, the deeper it's going to get. So just remember, once you start down the metaphysical, it's a constant thing of questions. It's never ending.
yeah,
Whenever you
yeah,
think you know one thing, you're going to have more questions.
yes. And
So,
I love it because, I love learning, and I
mm,
love just like, and I love being able to be like, I don't know anything,
I don't know anything. Okay.
I've considered myself like, a philosopher, pretty much my whole life. And so I'm definitely comfortable with that feeling of like, what do I even know? Because there's always something else. Once you think you got everything figured out, life has a funny way of showing you that no, you don't. There's
Yeah.
something new here. There's always something new, and, new lessons to be learned, new experiences to be had that you never could have planned for, and I just think that that's so beautiful, and something that I've been experiencing more and more of this year since I've started moonlit rituals. So I'm very grateful for that.
Well, I love that. I remember I'm a huge I love the metaphysical, but my first love is always science fiction fantasy, love it. And there was a sci-fi show, Babylon 5, don't know if you know it. I remember one of the alien races, she was a priestess in it, and the character said, "We are made of stardust, star stuff. We are literally the universe attempting to figure itself out." And I've always stuck with
Yes.
it. I love that.
I think I've seen that quote, floating around the internet and whatnot.
Mhm.
And yeah, that definitely resonates. And I love thinking about that. Like, we are the universe, we are life itself, and it is all one
Yeah,
one big
right.
glorious mystery that is just like, how are we even here? It doesn't even make sense that anything should exist, and yet here we humans are. What even is that? And I just think it's beautiful, and I love that we don't really know, and probably never really will. And I think that that's part of what makes life so special, is that you don't know, and that it's, and brief. You don't get to do it forever, and you don't get to live long enough to figure it out.
I know, but I wish I had a couple extra 100 years because there's
Yeah,
still a lot I want to
I
do
wouldn't
and a
I wouldn't
lot I
mind
want
it.
to learn. I don't want to become a vampire because liquid
Right.
diet does not work for me unless it's
Yeah,
coffee.
no.
But I'd love a couple extra 100 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So, what do you envision for your business? What is it? Where do you want it to go?
So, hmm, I feel like I am just kind of remaining open at this point, because every time I've had an idea of like, this is what I'm gonna do, it's not what I end up doing.
Oh yeah, no,
You know,
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
You
I
plan
don't.
and the universe laughs. I get it. I
Right,
get
yeah,
it.
exactly. But I know that I want to keep doing it. I know that I want to, keep doing really cool events with other like amazing people who like are picking up what I'm putting down, people who get it, or like on the same wavelength. And that's kind of my main thing. I don't really have, like, if it takes off, on the businessy side of things, I won't be complaining. But that's, I'm not necessarily fully doing this for like the money. I'm doing it to just like, here's some stuff for you all. Here's
I was
some,
gonna say, you're not doing it for the money, but you still gotta eat.
yeah, for sure. I stay making money. I've been doing pretty well, so
Yeah.
that's good. But yeah, I'm here for the connections. I'm here for just like getting the tools and resources to the people who, resonate with them and who need them. And I would love to have more of a reach for
Mhm.
sure. I know that. I have just been kind of doing local events, and that's been going really well, and I really enjoy it.
That's
But I
awesome.
I do want to like at least get things up in my Etsy shop, and get that going so that I can have a bit more reach to people who aren't going to make it there in person.
Well, yeah, and well, also, mobility challenged and everything like that.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
have you
exactly.
considered doing a website?
Yes. Have not totally gotten there. I like That's something that I think I kind of got started with before I started doing um like in-person events.
Hmm.
And honestly, since I started doing them, I have not really done much for anything on the internet. I just have
No, I
I've been
understand.
so in person that yeah, I just haven't even, and I'm, busy. I have another job too, so I haven't really had the time or like the mental space. But things are changing for me very soon. I am in the process of moving, and so I'm moving in with my partner, and I'm going to be able to focus a little bit more on moonlit rituals and getting things out there a little bit more. So hopefully soon I can get, yeah, a website. My partner's a tech guy, so he can probably help me with that.
Yes.
So
If
yeah,
I
I think it's coming. It's coming for sure.
I was gonna say, I like doing a website better. I mean, online is still not great for me, but I do better in person, oddly enough, brick and mortar in person at vending events. But I will say I like the idea of having my own website because it gives me a little bit more control over my customer base, over
Mm,
when things ship out, over when I get my notifications, stuff like that.
right.
Tech
Yeah.
is always spotty at best, but a website definitely helped me out a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I could definitely see that being helpful. Yeah.
Not ripping on anybody else, nothing like that, but just, yeah, website, it allows you to build an email list. It allows you to do a lot of things. I also use Square when I'm doing all my transactions, and that helps me to build an email list as well.
Nice. Yeah, I just recently started using Square, so I'm a little bit new to it, but yeah,
They've they've
I'm getting
made
there.
some changes since I started. They made it a little bit more complex. When I first started, it was super easy. Now,
Mm,
it's a little more complex, but I will
yeah.
say it's still pretty neat, and the prices are very fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you have any of your product there with you that you can show us?
Yes, I do actually. Let me see.
Perfect.
Um, I have this beauty.
Ooh, that's
Um,
pretty.
Thank you. And then there's like the top.
Mhm. Oh, I
It's got a
like it.
little shimmer. I have in there garnet, hibiscus, and hawthorn berries. This candle is part of my inner demon collection that
Oh,
I did for
okay.
Halloween.
Yeah.
And it was actually inspired by the movie K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh my, I've
Um,
heard about it. Is it good?
it is so good. It is so good, and it's so deep, and had me just absolutely sobbing for like a solid 40 minutes. And so it inspired me to make this candle.
I fell in love with one of the songs on the soundtrack, and I was like, all right, I keep seeing this everywhere. I've heard some more of the music, because for me, the music comes first, you know?
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
music and then the animation. And I'm like, all right, I gotta watch this movie. But I was like, oh, what if it's really cringy, you know?
Oh no, it's so good. It's so good. I'm obsessed. Everyone I know who's seen it is obsessed. And you know, the major themes of the movie, well, the major thing is like shame, and hiding that shame, and you know, not opening up to even the people that are closest to you, and then ultimately, you know, bringing the dark parts of ourselves to light and embracing them and sharing with others, and like letting, you know, our people see these sides of us, and you know, and hold space for us and things. And I just think it was so beautifully done, and I love that idea of, you know, really looking at like the darker parts of yourself, so to speak, and like the things that you're ashamed of, and that you know, don't let anybody see, and don't even want to acknowledge yourself half the time. You know, you want to just like deny that that's even something that you do, or you know, an aspect of like who you are as a person. But that's part of who you are, you know, and you have to face it, and embrace it, and you know, meet yourself in those darker parts with love and acceptance. So yeah, that's what that's what this collection is about, and the intention that I put into it, um, to hold that space for yourself, and to love yourself, and feel safe enough to embrace those parts of yourself, or even just like acknowledge them, because that can be so hard sometimes to even just be like, I have this quality, or I do this thing, when you're ashamed of it.
Shadow
And
work.
yeah, exactly.
Shadow work.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Oh,
So yeah, this is the shadow work collection essentially. And yeah, everything that I put into everything that I make is very intentional, and you know, corresponds in some way, and has just like so many layers to it. And this is one that has a special place in my heart for sure. And it's one that I hadn't planned on making, you know. I never would have thought to make it, you know, and then I saw this movie. I mean, I would have thought to make something to do with shadow work, I'm sure, but not this specifically. And it's one of the things I've created recently that I most adore. So it's always interesting how life will just present things for you, and you can just
yeah.
be inspired by things you never knew.
Oh yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, and also a lot of times happy accidents.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that's something that I've learned to embrace in like, you know, various art forms. But yeah, with this too, you know, whether it's like I make a candle and I have a little oopsie, and then I'm like, oh, well, I can do this with it now. And then I'm like, oh, I like that even better than what I was thinking that was gonna do, you know?
No,
Um,
a couple of oil rollers at the shop actually happened that way. Nicole and I were like, "Whoa!" Because you know you're working late and you're really tired and you can't remember what you put where, and you're like, "Oh, hey, wait, that's actually pretty cool. Oh, that does this. Neat." You know,
yeah, there you go.
we ended up actually making an oil roller to keep us awake.
Nice.
Because we're sitting there, it's like 2 a.m. We're like, gotta finish for the show. We were doing some metaphysical fair that weekend. And we're just like, ah. And then we started mixing stuff together. We weren't even really conscious of what we were doing. And boom, that was our wake up roller. Because it got us going.
Nice.
We're like, wow, we feel
Whoa.
good right now.
Yeah, sometimes you just mess around and create exactly what you need.
Yeah, exactly. We're like, okay, we gotta do this, and we gotta do the chakra ones, and we gotta. And she put something somewhere, and I put it in. I put something else in there, and it's like,
Mm.
okay, cool. So yeah, no, happy accidents. Most of the stuff in their store has come from either client problems, our own issues, or happy accidents.
Yeah, I
Very
love it.
rarely
Yeah.
anything goes
And
planned.
right. Yeah. Um, Yeah, I think so. Like a lot of the things that I've created are, just inspired by my own issues.
Mhm.
I'm like, what am I struggling with right now? Like, what do I need a little bit of like help with, or what do I need to, focus on and really like do my inner work on? And then so just kind of creating things for myself first and foremost, and knowing that like, okay, if I need help with this and thinking about this, struggling with this, whatever it is, chances are somebody else out
Oh yeah.
there is too,
Oh yeah.
so might as well
I could
share what
actually
I got.
I could actually confirm, like 9.99 times out of 10, you're going to have a group of people going through the same thing, which is why Spirit pushed you to have the issues so you could create it.
Yep.
So it
Yep.
works almost every
Yep.
time.
Yeah, because a lot of times, I'll just like feel like, oh, I really need to make this specific thing, or make products for this specific thing, and I don't even know why, and I just like
Mhm.
feel like this is what I need to do.
All of a sudden, hey, do you have anything for this? And you're like,
Right, exactly.
yes,
Oh, it was you. You needed
do,
that.
you know. But
Yep.
no, it's really interesting when you actually drop in and go with Spirit, when you drop down into that intuitive realm and you just kind of let Spirit guide you, intuition, universe, whatever you want to call it, all of a sudden crazy stuff starts happening. It's just like, huh, that's why I was doing that.
Yeah.
Cool. You know?
Yeah, it's a wild ride too, because so when I first started doing this, I thought, okay, I'll sell some stuff online, which is like the thing that I haven't done. And
Exactly.
maybe do some like farmers markets or something, because that sounds easy enough, right? Um I have done a couple farmers markets, but I've done like, a retreat, and I've done, more like mystic market type things, and an album release party, and just like one thing leads
Did you
to
do well
another.
at
I
that?
meet What was that?
Did you do well at the album release party?
I did, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and it was like 2.5 hours that I
Oh,
was even selling there, and I made as much as I would sitting at the farmers market all day.
yeah. Okay.
So yeah, like I was like, okay, because I'm in situations where there's just a higher percentage of people who get it, and who want what I got. And I think that's what it's all about, and that's kind of my highest priority when I'm choosing what kind of events I'm doing. I'm like, am I going to be surrounded by people like me? People who get it, people I can vibe with. And I've been just every single weekend doing events like that, surrounded by amazing souls, and put into, conversations and stuff that I needed to have. So I've been stuck with my, the guided journals that I'm making. I kind of got stuck on something with the actual like printing and binding process. Last
Mhm.
weekend at Mystic Market, somebody like told me about something that they use for binding and said how amazing it is, and I'm like, oh, that's my answer, and that's why I was put in the same room with this person. They were my vending buddy. So yeah, it's crazy how that works out, and I never would have even met them if I just stuck to farmers markets in my hometown.
Where are you from originally?
Marshalltown.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I know they do a Mystic Market up there. Did you get a chance to go to that?
They did not do it this year.
Hey, I
I
didn't
think
see
that
it. I thought, huh? I thought I just missed it because that was a
oh
fun one.
yeah, so I know that they did one last year,
Mhm.
and that was really cool. And then I was talking, because the market manager actually for the farmers markets here also did the Mystic Market.
Oh,
Um,
wow. So why didn't they hold it this year? Because I actually really enjoyed the one last year that I went
it
to.
was something about not being able to do it at the fairgrounds, and not
Mhm.
having another venue option that was like big enough, maybe.
Okay.
So
Yeah. No, and there's a
yeah,
lot of that. Just changes.
yeah, yeah,
Too
for
bad though.
sure.
Well, I hope they resurrect it soon because I did
Yeah,
like it.
for sure. Yeah,
It was a
yeah, I
good
was
crowd.
pretty bummed. I'm like, oh, that would have been so amazing, but
Well,
I
and that's one of the things about the different fairs. I've been tabling and vending since I was 16 and I'm 43 now.
Wow.
So it's, and my dad, he was in business for himself too when I was born. So it's just, it kind of runs in the family. But um, I used to try every fair I could get my hands on. Everything, everything, everything. And one thing I found was some fairs are just confidence and soul killers. Some fairs you
Mm-hmm.
do not need to be at. So now I'm a lot pickier about where I go because, oh wow, yeah, no, some crowds, no way, no way. And it's both the vendors and the patrons that are coming in. And
Right.
I think it's more about the event holders. They're not in the right headspace, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and then with anime conventions, you wouldn't think it, but I love it there. The people are all happy. They
Yeah.
are literally all happy. And the vendors are happy, and the patrons are happy, and the staff is happy. Okay, they're a little
Yeah.
stressed, but they're still happy, you know?
Yeah.
And I love that. They actually want to be there, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
so many vendors, they get into this rut and they don't want to be there, and it shows, and and I'm like, if you don't want to be here, you probably shouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I also
Yeah,
found
for sure.
myself getting into that mindset because I was doing all the wrong fairs. And it was slowly crushing me to death. And then I kind of backed up and went, nope, that one's going, that one's going, that one's going, and I just started slicing off fairs because I was like, no, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And then when
Yeah.
I opened my own events, I was very careful of the people that I brought in. I definitely had a more open door policy originally. Um, but I was careful and I watched how a lot of the more negative vendors just weeded themselves out. The more high vibe I kept the event, the more the negative vendors, they were
Yeah.
gone. You know, it was
Love how
really
that works.
interesting. They would literally pay me, and then they would call and be like, I just can't come. I don't even know why.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not refunding you. And they're like, we don't care. We just can't be there.
Okay. Just not
And
gonna
I'm
be
like,
there.
thank you for the donation. I
Right?
was like, oh,
Ah,
but yeah, no, it's been really interesting. It's been a whole new side of things.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. I am so about like uh doing and like being in spaces that feel really like in alignment, with who you are. And I know that just like looking at some of the vendor fairs and stuff that I've seen
Yeah.
just online, I'm like, I don't even have to go there to know
Yeah.
that's not the place for me. I'm gonna feel out of place. I'm gonna not do as well as I normally do because these are not my people. And I'm not going to have the same kind of connections that I do at events like this, where these are my people, and every person there is gonna I'm gonna have some kind of cool interaction with, whatever that looks like. Um,
Well, one of the
so
things
I think I'm learning already to only go where I feel like it makes sense for me.
I used to push so hard for every single opportunity, and it's taken such a long time for me to realize, yes, it's an opportunity, but sometimes it's more trouble than it's worth.
Yeah. For
So,
sure. I've seen a lot of things, for the next, month and a half or so, a lot of like holiday
yeah.
stuff. And I just haven't come across anything that really like stands out to me as like, this is my kind of thing. This will be my
Mhm.
jam. And so I'm kind of taking that as like, all right, maybe I slow down on the in-person events, and this is when I can focus
Get your
on,
website or
getting a
your
shop up, getting a website,
correct.
rest maybe.
Yes, is always good.
Yeah, for sure. For
I
sure. So
say that and everybody in the audience has started laughing. I
right,
guarantee
yeah.
you. But
I'm so good at like offering all the great advice to other people and be like, you need to like take time for yourself. And then I like forget to do that for myself. And so some of the stuff that I make is honestly a reminder to myself to like slow down and tune in and be with myself and not be rushing around trying to do everything all the time. So and I'm learning to, see the signs too, of the
yeah.
universe confirming that, like, yeah, you need to chill out a little bit, okay? You
Yeah.
got enough going on, and
Oh dear.
you don't want to go to all of these vendor fairs anyway. Like, you're not. It's fine. So works for me.
I get that. Well, I am so glad that you sat down with us tonight. Thank you for taking the time out. And is
Yeah.
there anything you would like to tell people?
I guess just that like I put so much into what I do, so much intention. And even if you're not intentional with how you use it, it will be doing work for you. So worth it. And I look forward to seeing everybody and making connections and having amazing conversations more than anything. Like, even if I don't sell hardly anything, like, I'm there for the vibes and I am so stoked.
That is awesome. Well, hopefully we'll have a good turnout. Everybody's sending this to their email list. I've got vendors putting up posters everywhere. I'm posting. We've got Google ads. We've got this ad. We've got that ad. But
It's going to be a blast.
Season of Souls Fair is the first of these fairs that I've done. I normally do 2 a year. One's Christmas, one's March. And Season of Souls came because the mall had this space open.
Nice.
Like the perfect one between Halloween and Day of the Dead. So I couldn't pass that up.
Yeah, of course. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be such a special time too. I love it.
Awesome possum. All right, my dear. Well, thank you. And
Thank you.
Have a good night. See you soon.
You too.
Bye. All right, folks. That was Miss Jade Moon. She is absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait for y'all to come out and see her. Season of Souls, October 31st, November 1st and 2nd. And you guys have a wonderful night, and I'll see you soon. Actually, I'll see you tomorrow for the Psychic Roundtable. All right, guys. Oh, and remember, like, comment, subscribe, and let me know if there's something you would like me to talk about or if there's a guest you would like me to bring on. All right, let's see if I can actually end the stream. Good night. Bye-bye, butterflies. Thank you.